Welcome to the Taos High School Information and Guidelines for Phase 1 of Return to Play Summer 2020. We hope everyone is staying safe and healthy during this time. NMAA and the Taos Municipal School District has approved a series of guidelines and strategies for each sport planning to return to play. These are designed to keep the athletes, coaches, and community safe. This slide will discuss the limitations of gatherings and contact during Phase 1 of Return to Play. Individual skill development will allow athletes to focus on conditioning, endurance, and individual skills without any contact between athletes. Athletes may not share workout equipment, PPE, food, water bottles, towels, or workout clothing. Water bottles must be filled beforehand at home, as no water stations of any kind will be available for this purpose. Weight rooms or locker rooms will not be available during Phase 1. Students must come dressed, ready to practice, and must leave immediately once practice concludes. Athletes will not be allowed to participate in games or scrimmages. In order to adhere to the social distancing guidelines, workouts will be conducted in pods. These pods will consist of the same 5 athletes always working out together with the same coach to limit overall exposures. The number of indoor facility pods may not exceed 3 at one time. The number of outdoor facility pods may not exceed 5 at one time. There must always be a minimum distance of 6 feet between each individual and each pod. This slide will provide information regarding pre-screening protocols, travel, and vulnerable individuals. All coaches and athletes will be screened daily. Athletes will have their temperatures checked using a non-contact thermometer and will be asked a series of questions regarding whether or not they are experiencing any COVID-19 related symptoms. Any person with positive symptoms reported or a temperature greater than 100.3 will not be allowed to participate, will be sent home, should self-isolate, and contact their primary care provider or other health care professional to receive medical clearance before returning to workouts. If your child is not feeling well or is experiencing any symptoms, please refrain from bringing them to practice. Parents, if you are dropping off your child, please wait approximately 5 minutes before leaving to ensure that they have passed the pre-screening protocol. If you are picking up your child, please be prompt to ensure social distancing protocols. Responses to screening questions for each person will be recorded and stored. See the sample monitoring form to the left of the screen. Individuals having flown out of state must self-quarantine for 14 days upon their return. It is recommended that individuals self-quarantine for 14 days if they cross state borders by means other than air travel. Vulnerable individuals should not supervise or participate in any workouts during Phase 1. PPE and hygiene practices. Athletes should wear face coverings upon arrival and at departure of each workout session, but are not required to wear them during exercise. Cloth face coverings are acceptable. Plastic shields covering the entire face will not be allowed during participation due to the risk of unintended injury to the person wearing the shield or others. Coaches and screeners will wear cloth face coverings at all times. Athletes will wash hands with soap and water or use hand sanitizer before and after practice and after bathroom breaks. Please sneeze or cough into a tissue or the inside of your elbow. Avoid touching your face. Athletes are advised to disinfect their personal equipment, including workout clothes, volleyballs, basketballs, before and after practice. Athletes may bring their own hand sanitizer and/or sanitizing wipes if they choose to do so, but please be aware that coaches will have some available to use during the workout sessions. Only coaches and athletes will be allowed at workouts to minimize exposure. If you choose to wait for your child, please remain in your vehicle. The next slides will contain specific guidelines for each sport during Phase 1. These may be subject to change, and coaches will contact athletes with any changes. Cheer. The focus of cheer will be conditioning and individual technique and choreography work. Athletes may not participate or perform partner stunts or building. Chants, jumps, dance, and tumbling without contact are permissible as long as physically distancing is adhered to. Practice for cheer will take place Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Taos High School football field. Practice is scheduled to begin approximately on June 18th. 4 coaches will be assigned to pods. Coaches will contact athletes to identify assigned pods, assigned coaches, and days and times of pod workout sessions. Staggered start and end times are as follows: 6 to 7:15 a.m., 6:05 to 7:20 a.m., 6:10 to 7:25 a.m., and 6:15 to 7:30 a.m. Entrance and exit protocol. Athletes will enter through the large gate and make their way to the football field entrance on the right-hand side of the home bleachers. Here they will be greeted by their pod coach, who will complete the screening process. Athletes will exit the same way they entered. Screening lineup and protocol. Athletes will form a single file line on the loading ramp while maintaining social distancing until they are called by their pod coach to proceed forward for screening. Once they are cleared for participation, they will be sent to their designated pod location to place their personal belongings and to begin workout. Restroom breaks. Pod coach will open the restroom where the athlete will be given 2 disinfectant wipes to use to open and exit the stall, wipe down the handle before and after use, and to wipe down other areas touched by the athlete. Athletes will wash their hands thoroughly and use paper towels to turn off faucet and exit. Coaches will wipe down the restroom at the beginning and end of every practice. Disinfecting protocol. Who, what, and when. Before practice, coaches will wipe down surfaces that hands may touch. After practice, each coach will wipe down the areas that their pods were using, such as bleacher rails, restrooms, and gates. Football. The main focus of football is conditioning and individual drills. A player should not participate in drills with a single ball that will be handed off or passed to other teammates. Contact with other players is not allowed, and there should be no sharing of tackling dummies, donuts, sleds, etc. Protective equipment is prohibited. Practice will take place Monday through Thursday, 4 through 8 p.m., and Friday, 8 through 11 a.m. at Taos High School Anaya football field. Practice is scheduled to begin approximately on June 15th. 6 coaches will be assigned, and coaches will contact athletes to identify their assigned pods and their assigned coaches. Staggered start and end times. Approximately at 3:20, coaches' temperatures will be taken. Pods will then enter and exit 10 minutes apart, starting approximately at 3:40. Dismissal for pods for final departure will be by 7 p.m. based on the staggered end time schedule. Entrance, exit protocol. Athletes will enter through the large gate and make their way to the football field entrance. Here they will be greeted by their pod coach, who will complete the screening process. Athletes will exit the same way they entered. Screening lineup and protocol. Athletes will form a single file line on the loading ramp while maintaining social distancing until they are called by their pod coach to proceed forward for screening. Once they are cleared for participation, they will be sent to their designated pod location to place their personal belongings and to begin a workout. Restroom breaks. Bathroom breaks will be allowed throughout the pods at scheduled rotation times. Restrooms will be disinfected by pod coaches after bathroom breaks. Disinfecting protocols. Who, what, when. Each coach will disinfect each station with the help of the players while being supervised by their coach. Each athlete is required to bring their own hand sanitizer and disinfectant wipes, but some will be available at practice. Girls basketball. The overall focus of girls basketball is conditioning and individual ball skill drills. No contact or sharing of balls is permitted. A player may shoot with a ball, but a team should not practice with or pass a single ball among the team where multiple players touch the same ball. Practice. Practice is sectioned into two groups. Group 1 from 2:30 to 4:25 p.m. and Group 2 from 4:25 to 6:30 p.m. if necessary. Practice will take place at Taos High School gym. Practice is scheduled to begin approximately on June 15th. 10 coaches will be available for girls basketball summer practice. Coaches will contact the athletes to identify their assigned pods and their assigned coaches. Staggered start and end times. Please see the schedule of staggered start and end times for Group 1 and Group 2. Entrance and exit protocols. Athletes will enter through the double doors near the weight room on the west side of the building and will exit through the north side of the gym next to the football lockers. Screening lineup and protocol. Athletes will form a single file line at the entrance door while maintaining social distancing until they are called by their pod coach to proceed forward for screening. Once they have been cleared for participation, they will be sent to their designated pod location to place their personal belongings and to begin their workout. Restroom breaks. Each pod will have a scheduled break. Each coach in charge of the pods will wipe handles and areas used by athletes after each athlete leaves the area. Disinfecting protocol. Who, what, when. Before practice, coaches will wipe down surfaces touched by athletes. After practice, each coach will wipe down the areas that their pods were using. Volleyball. The overall focus of volleyball is conditioning and individual ball handling drills. Each player must have their own ball. A player should not use a single ball that others touch or hit in any manner. Practice. Practice will take place Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10:40 a.m. at Taos Middle School Gymnasium. Practice is scheduled to begin approximately on June 15th. 7 coaches will be available for volleyball summer practice. Coaches will contact the athletes to identify their assigned pods and their assigned coaches. Staggered start and end times are as follows: 8 to 9 a.m., 8:20 to 9:20 a.m., 8:40 to 9:40 a.m., 9 to 10 a.m., 9:20 to 10:20 a.m., and 9:40 to 10:40 a.m. Entrance and exit protocol. Pods will enter the gym from the designated doors for either the big gym or the small gym. Athletes will exit the same way they entered. Screening lineup and protocol. Athletes will form a single file line in the parking lot. When players arrive, temperatures will be taken outside in the parking lot. After they are cleared, the pods will begin practice on the track for conditioning. Students will be directed to their pod workout area and where to place their personal belongings. Restroom breaks. Pod coaches will open the restrooms and the athletes will be given 2 disinfectant wipes to use to open and exit the stall. Wipe down the handle before and after use, and to wipe down other areas touched by the athlete. Athletes will wash their hands thoroughly and use paper towels to turn off the faucet and exit. Coaches will wipe down the restroom at the beginning and end of practice. Disinfecting protocols. Who, what, when. After each pod leaves, equipment will be sanitized by each pod coach. Dance. The overall focus of dance is conditioning and individual technique and choreography work. Students may not practice, perform partner stunts, or building. Chants, jumps, dances, tumbling without contact are permissible as long as physical distancing is adhered to. Practice. Practice will take place Monday through Wednesday, 4:40 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at Taos High School Gymnasium. Practice is scheduled to begin approximately on June 15th. 3 coaches will be available for dance practice. Coaches will contact athletes to identify their assigned pods and their assigned coaches. Staggered start and end times. Each pod will start and exit 5 minutes apart. entrance and exit protocols. Pods will enter the gym from the main doors. Athletes will exit using the double doors on the west side of the building next to the weight room. Screening lineup and protocol. Athletes will form a single file line at the entrance of the gym doors. When athletes arrive, their temperatures will be taken by their pod coach. After they are cleared, students will be directed to the designated area where they will keep their personal belongings and where their pod workout area will take place. Restroom breaks. The athlete will be given 2 disinfectant wipes to use to open and exit the stall, wipe down the handle before and after use, and to wipe down other areas touched by the athlete. Athletes will wash their hands thoroughly and use paper towels to turn off faucet and exit. Coaches will wipe down the restroom at the beginning and end of practice. Disinfecting protocol. Who, what, when. After each pod leaves, equipment and areas touched by athletes will be sanitized by each pod coach. Baseball, softball, and boys basketball. At this time, these 3 sports do not have their COVID-19 Summer 2020 participation plan available. This slide will be updated as those plans become available. Baseball and softball focus. Conditioning and tee work. Players should not share gloves or bats or throw a single ball that will be tossed among the team. A single player may hit in cages, throw batting practice with netting as backstop, no catcher. Prior to another athlete using the same balls, they should be collected and cleaned individually. Boys basketball focus. Conditioning, individual ball skill drills, no contact or sharing of balls. A player may shoot with a ball, but a team should not participate or pass a single ball among the team where multiple players touch the same ball. In closing, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your time and effort in reviewing these essential guidelines. Please do not hesitate to reach out to your coaches with any questions or concerns. Please be advised that as part of the safety protocols, all coaching staff have been tested for COVID and have presented with negative results. When NMAA transitions return to play into phase 2 and 3, expect guideline changes. We will update the information and communicate that once adjustments have been made. Let's work together to keep everybody safe. Go Tigers!